The Cyberhero Adventures, Defenders of the Digital Universe. Several men are playing a game of pickup basketball. Larry Jones goes for a layup and comes down hard, twisting his ankle. Larry sits up on the court, holding his broken ankle, screaming in pain. Ambulances are on the scene. While the paramedics ask Larry, "Do you have any allergies or medications?" Larry Jones responds, "Not that I know of." Any medical condition, including stroke, diabetes, anything like this, can be considered personal health information.
Okay, precious personal health information. You're so much more valuable to steal than just a credit card number.
I'm Drog, a drone and dog pet of the Cyberhero Adventures team. I'll give you great ideas to keep you and your families safe while online at work, home, and school.
Larry is brought to the Riverside General Hospital, where he's in a temporary emergency room bed. He's hooked up to an IV and heart monitor, while a nurse is interviewing him and typing on a rolling computer. As Larry receives attention from the nurse who's collecting the health information, lurking about are the villains who have infiltrated into the facility. Through the help of an invisible to the naked eye, Sonny the social engineer, Phoebe the fisher, and Ivan the identity thief have gained physical access to the computer terminals that is collecting Larry's personal information. Phoebe is able to take advantage of the internet-connected facility's security cameras that allow her to snoop on the activities of the staff and Larry during his visit in order to plan further attacks. As Larry receives treatment for the injury, a mysterious evildoer wraps up a month-long campaign to get rich over a plan he calls stealing your health information. Wilbur WannaCry is a black hat hacker who escaped from prison who goes by many a name, but got his fame back in 2017 when he started ransoming computers worldwide. By encrypting the data stored in the victim machines and demanding ransom in cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin, he was able to spread through the vulnerability known as Eternal Blue. While people always imagine hackers as hooded, shadowy individuals, the reality is that sophisticated criminal organizations and nations are responsible for large portions of the attacks. WannaCry made his living by hacking as a service on what's called the deep web, where search engines like Google don't reach. Later that night, the dark web evil empire discussed at their headquarters how successful their attempts at stealing data have been and how they will execute the next job in several phases. We see the real world Ivan the identity thief at the internet cafe, starting with stealing the database of 48,000 patients at the same center where Larry is receiving treatment. First, they make some immediate cash by stripping the patient financial information to sell immediately. Then, the health information they sell as certified fresh information online. It's important to criminals to fund their operation while also preserving their rating online, similar to Yelp reviews. At HQ, the evil empire confirms their second exfiltration of data of over 200,000 patient records, including hospital administration information, signatures of doctors, receipts, and prescriptions. This can be used to forge bills to Medicare and insurance companies. Back in Larry's world, his wife is shocked at the additional health bills created. In confusion, Larry is unaware that his health information is being used by the evil empire. But the evil empire is progressively making moves on greater targets, increasing their record count by another 400,000 records, who would be soon having the same dilemmas as Larry. This next slide shows how on the dark web you can easily see the shady work of our team and the users, and how anyone would be interested in this information, especially rogue nations, and that important people of interest would be withheld from these breaches and sold at a higher price. The team discuss how they have more moves to play, and the reason they are able to get the information out so easily is because they could exfiltrate information without being caught in real time. And now they have used Sonny the social engineer's technique to make fake credit cards to pay for the invoices, so as not to tip off the real individuals whose insurance is being billed. How stealthy. They recognize the sense of even greater urgency, noting that it is only a matter of time before their operation is caught onto, and they need to move before the defenses can be put into place.
Let's get to work,
they unanimously shout. Phoebe Fisher uses her technique to phish passwords from unsuspecting victims at the hospitals who willingly give up passwords out of the desire to be useful and to help others. Oh no, what is this? The victim's machine has been hit by a ransomware attack.
If you use a password manager to store your passwords, it will randomize and make sure that you have a unique, strong password for every site that you make an account for.
The demand is $80,000, and in return, they would receive access to their machine again, forcing individuals to face an almost unobtainable time frame. After one day, the ransom would skyrocket to $250,000, and after that, it would be destroyed. The scene cuts back to Larry the following day, as Larry thinks about the serious medical problems he's about to have worked on, but unsuspectingly is headed in for a surprise. The power surges, and an announcement over the PA system is projected by the evil empire demanding the ransom. The voice mocks the individuals trapped in the elevator, saying that it shouldn't take more than just a couple hours until someone comes to rescue them, and not even to think about using their backup generators because those have been taken over too. This ends the chapter. Here we meet Justina, a real-life hero who stood up to bullies and defended the defenseless. 12 years later, she set out to become an expert in the judicial system and received summa cum laude from her doctoral class. Advancing quickly, Justina became a public defender, defending the rights of the accused, and after a ransomware attack in her office, she grew interested in cybercrime and joined the state attorney as a prosecutor. She knew crime was shifting more and more to online, and because putting cybercriminals behind bars was so difficult, she was beginning to lose hope. Until she got the call from Dr. G. Next, we are introduced to Finn, aka Firewall. Finn loves firewalls, and it is a formidable defense against hacking attempts. Finn works in conjunction with other teammates to form a secure perimeter and compartmentalized area to protect valuable assets and systems and information. This was very useful when organizations were simpler and located in one place. But as portable laptops came into the market and people started bringing their own devices in and outside of the perimeter, things changed. His weakness lies in the complexity of the ever-changing cyber landscape and keeping his rules up to date in order to be useful. Next we see Justina, Tara, and Finn at the Security Operations Center, or the SOC. Somehow, the attackers were able to bypass the firewall set up by Finn and were able to take advantage of default passwords left on administrative accounts for each device they were able to lock out in the ransomware attack. Tara uncovered where the original point of breach occurred. With the phishing email, Tara uncovered that the phishing email was the original point of breach, and the team notes that the black hat hackers of the evil empire are demanding $80,000 to unlock the computers. Justina states plainly that they have 3 choices. 1. Use the backups and hope it's sufficient. 2. Switch to going back to paper. And Finn interrupts, "You're joking, right?" And they start to introduce the next logical option, to pay the ransom and hope that the hackers honor their word. Admitting paying the ransom is a bad idea because they are basically funding hacker operation. The team devises a plan. They know that it's going to take time to recover from the incident, and that they are going to need the help from cybersecurity professionals to contain the threat and prevent further damage to the systems by replacing out-of-date equipment with state-of-the-art technology. The company Aon is helping our team through their cyber insurance, which is used just in this type of event. They're assisting with all types of negative impacts using their cyber loop model. Since every company has different needs, they enter the loop at different points. Our team has found themselves in the need of incident response readiness. The team enters the cyber loop, obtaining real-time attack data and indicators of compromise, making it faster to trace the attacker's footprints and determine what the damage is by triaging the incident. Because security is iterative, meaning progressing in steps, we learn by fixing each incident in order to produce the knowledge to analyze the next. This makes our defenses stronger. The team discusses taking a strategic approach to cybersecurity by taking risk assessments, evaluating their current state of security and controls, and by identifying their most valuable assets to protect. The team called upon their cyber insurance plan provided by Aon, and they received assistance with the impacts that were caused to the company. The team made backups the most useful defense against ransomware by creating in-house backups, backups to the cloud, and having air-gapped servers stored in a secure location. Introducing Super Agent DNS, who's come in to help the team. He's integrated an advanced artificial intelligence combined with threat intelligence to identify and block most modern malware and prevent data from being exfiltrated, like what happened to the hospital in real time. The company offering these services is through Infoblox. The Infoblox grid monitors cloud services, mobile devices, connected IoT equipment such as EKGs, cameras, power sources, physical security controls, and even the life-saving pacemakers inside of patients. Upon deployment of the Infoblox grid, Finn gets an alert. They've identified their targets, and Finn and Tara get into cyber transport mode, grab their goggles, and jump into battle. The two hit the deep web and report back to HQ. They are monitoring in real time the long labyrinth that the Black Hats used to route their attack. Tara says, "Yet complicated as it may be to follow the trail that leads to the perpetrators, it's no different than any other criminal. They all leave behind forensic evidence." Tara identifies the user accounts by the device, and then she takes a look at all the devices and activity performed in the entire hospital used by that account. We will examine each machine for anomalous behavior known to be performed by malware. She continues her analysis to build relationships of devices and activity all the way back to the originating point of breach. And because malware usually talks to a command and control server outside of the network and uses multiple nodes along the way, this can make locating the command and control server location very difficult. Miss Terabyte runs at the speed of light through the traces uncovered to the location of the perimeter firewall where the attack originated. Finn assists, using some of the nodes Tara traveled through in order to get through the firewall. Once a location has been discovered by police, they will make a warrant and seize all the computers that have been potentially used for hacking. Tara applies a decloaking device technique in order for the machines to give up their actual location as Super Agent DNS obtains the Evil Empire's location. As the cyber heroes perform forensic analysis on the devices, they discover browser history and system logs that give away the truth about the tools used in the intrusion, and additionally, copies of the stolen data. But the Evil Empire knows that the decloaking attempt is happening and confront our cyber hero. Boasting, they brag about their biggest hack as they copy 17 hospitals worth of data to another location. But Tara cleverly catches all their confessions. Despite that the transaction is almost complete, Super Agent DNS intercepts the copies while Tara takes the blasts of 4 Evil Empire members. The transfer comes to a halt. Tara is running out of shield and time, while all of a sudden, the cyberhero known as the Presenter arrives on the scene to distract the Evil Empire by projecting a beam of the third quarter financial statement earnings of a company. This is so dry and so boring that the Evil Empire lose consciousness. And until next time, this has been the Cyberhero Adventures.